You're listening to My Top 8, a relationship podcast about friendship. I'm your host, Maggie May Fish. Remember, the show does not condone ranking your friends in a list of 8 people. And now, let's talk friendship.
Oh, some friends go and some friends less. Some come talk on your podcast. If they make you laugh and they treat you great, then you put them on your top 8.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to My Top 8, a relationship show about friendship. I just came up with that title. What do you think about it, Hana?
Hell yeah. My top 8 show, a relationship show about friendship. I think you should add one more show in there.
Oh, you know what? Oh my god, you're right, Hana. I'm gonna write this down. show. The relationship show about friendship show. Featuring Hana Michels. Hello. Hey. Thanks for coming on by.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my god, anytime. Hana is being so kind. There are 2 little dogs running around right now, just vying for her attention specifically.
They're so sweet. I love it. Everyone told me when you turn 30, you're going to want kids. And no, I just want like a horde of poodles.
Oh, poodles. I saw a giant poodle the other day, and I feel like I immediately fell in love. I was like, oh my god. Like, my whole future flashed before me. A giant house with a big poodle. And like, that's it. That's the dream. That's the fake American dream we sell to people. Big house with a big old poodle.
Poodle in every yard.
Poodle in every yard. Never pooping.
Nope.
Not here in America. Poodles don't poop. Oh, boy. So thank you for stopping by. You're a delight. I think you are so funny online, and I'm sure you get that all the time. But, like, funny and, like, I don't know. You just have this, like, approachable, funny way about you that I love, if that makes any sense.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That explains the 30,000 mail at replies.
There, doesn't. Oh, yes. The other day I saw you tweet about that when I was talking to you about this podcast, and I felt so bad.
No, it's totally fine. I just wish that sometimes they'd cross-reference to see if the same thing.
Right. I do wish they would check with each other. I feel like whenever I post a video, there's at least 3 comments asking about the gender that I am versus the gender that I show to the world. And I'm like, you guys can just read the comments and see if someone else asked about that. And you'll see my reply, and then you'll think again whether you should comment that. But alas, that's a lot to ask of strangers, I guess. So, this is a podcast about friendship. Hana, who would be in your top 8 if you had to rank your friends?
I feel like that might have changed recently. I had a really weird experience where, like, I was in a relationship with someone who was not great and kind of made me feel like I had no friends. And then I got, like, when I came out of it, I got like so many, like just a flood of like people who were like, we were always your friends and we always loved you. And a bunch of them even took like a photo together just to remind me that I have friends. So definitely every person in that photo.
Oh my God. That's why I wanted to do this podcast. Just because of that, like, love that friends can show you when you feel like you're alone or that, like, you don't have anyone. But that's wonderful. Hey, guys, just a personal shout out. Way to go. Aw. Well, that's lovely. So, I mean, were you guys, like, friends before and it kind of, you know...
We were, but I just, like... I get kind of antisocial sometimes. I kind of hide away in my room sometimes. And if it becomes really easy to think that, like, oh, I don't have friends. And that's not...
Right.
That was never true.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I feel like that is a pretty... Especially in LA, I feel like it's really easy to, like, isolate ourselves. And I've definitely had periods where I have felt I have no friends. Like, even if a person just came over the other day... I'll sometimes still be like, who am I close to? Like, I'm sitting in a room, like, you know, and also, like, degree of closeness. Like, sure, I have a friend, but are they really my friend? Like, can they see into me? Oh, yeah. But that's great. So all of those guys.
Yeah, every single one of those people, including the guy who took the photo and then stuck his head in there in Photoshop.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, have you been getting, like, you know, there's always that, like, adjustment period, I feel like, whenever we get out of something that was, like, you know, real messed up or real shitty, whether it was, like, a boyfriend or a girlfriend or even just, like, a friend. That has fucked me up before. Yeah. But coming out of it, like, how's it been going back to, like, oh yeah, like, I do have friends and, like, tiptoeing back into that? Has it been, like, hard or?
Hard, but good.
Yeah.
Definitely both of those things.
Yeah.
It's always easier to just retreat. And especially in LA, when in order to see your friends, you usually have to go to a thing.
Yes.
And then you have to talk to people that are not your friend.
Yes. When our previous guest, Erin, she mentioned that she will oftentimes get anxiety about her close friends' birthday parties because she loves the friend who's having the birthday.
Yeah.
But then there's like 900 Facebook friends who are going, all of which like she, doesn't know and gets, doesn't want to go and will then just stay home. And I was like, I have never related more to anything. Yeah, I oftentimes find myself making, like, really, like, cushiony excuses is a strong word, but it's always a lot easier to stay home and sit in bed. And I also like alone time, which...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes, especially comparing LA to, like, have you lived in any other, like, cities before LA?
I lived in New York for a while, but I lived in, like, South Brooklyn, like, Orthodox Jewish, follow me down the street Brooklyn. So it was way different from the rest of New York.
Oh, man. Wow. Do you still have friends from New York in that area, or?
Not that part of Brooklyn, but New York in general, yes.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with the guy I lived with there.
Fun.
But yeah, no, that area was weird.
Did you find it hard to make friends in an area like that?
I was probably an hour from regular Brooklyn and Manhattan, so that part was kind of hard.
Right.
I did make some friends that are still friends that are cool, but I never get to see them really.
Yeah.
Trying to fly over, but also New York is like. If you've anyone who hasn't been to New York but has seen Broad City, like, it doesn't understand how real that is. Like, the amount of time it takes the characters to go one block is accurate.
Oh my god.
And the amount of problems that they encounter, 100% accurate.
That's so funny because I don't know if I've ever heard anyone from New York confirm that for me. I've had suspicions, but thank you, Hana.
I only lived there for 9 months. I'm a traitor.
Oh, I visited New York for like a potential job, and while I was there for 2 days, I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. It was again, speaking of holding up, I think a bunch of the other candidates like went out together. I stayed in my hotel room and I ordered room service because I was like, this is what I can bring myself to do. I'll eat in this hotel room. Oh man, so do most of your friends live here in LA? Like, are they close or spread around?
I think most of them are here in LA.
That's good.
I grew up here, but most of the people I grew up with I don't know super well.
Wow.
Which is weird.
That's interesting, Hana.
No, it's not. I was a dork in high school.
Oh, well, there we go. We got to the bottom of that immediately.
Yeah. I was just a defensive weirdo. There's no, like, real story. But yeah, a lot of comedy people here, mostly.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Speaking of, I like to gauge, like, friends in different parts of your life. So I do want to travel back to high school just for a moment. Like, because I feel like a lot of people will relate. Did you have any friends in high school? or middle school, or did you have like one extreme friend? You know, what was your landscape growing up?
I had a couple friends, and I had a couple people that I still talk to. But they're not in LA, or their Facebook says they've gotten engaged 5 times and I'm afraid to ask. Or like,
that's a difficult question. Like knowing what to bring up and not to bring up with like older friends.
Yeah, if you haven't spoken to someone in a couple years and then you find like they're on a news article of some sort, like, can you say something?
Oh God, yeah. That's a great question. Yes, that's really funny. I grew up I went to a pretty small high school. So I think there was only 30 of us, like in,
oh wow.
Yeah, we graduated together. And we've known each other since like junior kindergarten all through high school. And it was weird because I feel like a lot of them I just was like, oh yeah, we're friends. But then I'll like look at who they actually are, like as an adult, you know, and, like knowing other people in the world. And I'm like, oh, like that's who you are. That's why we never really got along. We only just like had to get along. Which is okay. And I still think they're like, you know, sweet and great. It's just like, oh, grew up a little bit. Okay, I get it now. What was so you know, had a couple friends in high school. What about your like, you know, your younger 20s? What was that like for you, friend wise?
I completely isolated myself until about 24.
Oh wow.
I had like a couple weird experiences with people in college, and I just disappeared for like 4 years, and then I came back to LA, and it was like, oh, people are not monsters.
I mean, once you have a lot of evidence to prove otherwise, it's really hard to come back to the table and be like, I guess I like people.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that. Yes, not so much college, but I feel like when I moved to LA, I just had a couple instances where, again, I think I was just like a little naive and a little too like, everyone's great and, you know, it's friendly, and fell flat on my face a couple times by assuming that. And yeah, it's really hard to not like learn to put up a bunch of walls, you know?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, no, it's cool now though.
Yeah.
It better be, because I'm 30 and making friends at this age is a thing.
Oh my God, let's talk about that for a little bit, because I don't know if we've really gotten into that on the podcast, but the difficulty of making friends. One, in LA is kind of like a specific, you know, specific climate in LA, but also, yeah, like when you get a little bit older, there is no built-in like place to hang out all the time, or like people are just busy with their lives, kind of. I don't know, what's been your experience with that?
I mean, I'm a freelancer, so it's extra. Like,
oh my God,
all of my work is from home.
Oh.
I kind of talk to people.
I
know, right?
Oh no.
It's fine. I have a checklist and I leave the house once a week.
No, thank God.
Not that bad.
Thank God. I was just about to say,
but my
let's get
therapist
some
did give me a
tin cans. And I'll just, hello, are you alive? Good, great. No,
it's totally good. But yeah, no, being a freelancer, being in LA is so spread out geographically, and that's a big part of it. By the time my parents invited me over to their house for the 4th of July to meet a bunch of like family friends and stuff, and it's just like, okay, to have to plan a trip to Santa Monica, which is
on 4th of July.
On 4th of July, even though that's in the LA area. I don't know.
Yeah. That might be an impossible trip. Yeah,
I think it might
not happen ever.
I think it might be. It's It's also an excuse to go to a different party and just hang out with the dog all day.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, dogs are always friends.
Dogs are always friends. That's a hill I will die on. I only really recently, spent time with dogs, just from, casually dog sitting here and there. I grew up with cats, and I never really got the whole, dogs are friends concept until very recently. I was like, oh my God, I've been so naive to this whole dog thing. They love you.
They do so much. And
yes,
I try not to think about it's because we forced them to.
Yes, but, and me as well. I do have that voice in the back of my head that's like, you feed them, you give them treats, you give them food.
And we bred them to love us. It's
right, yes.
We're...
I choose not to look closely at that. That's a cognitive choice.
As a species, we are my dad's mom. Just give us attention and love all the time.
Yes. Yep. Yes. What have we done? Oh God. So you did mention earlier, and I did say that I was going to bring this up, that, and this is fascinating to me, you are very close with one of your exes.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I have loved everyone I've ever dated. I have never had a, terrible experience. I've dated, a, dummy, but, kind of just, an eye-rolly dummy. Ooh, hope you grow up. But besides that, so... I understand the concept of being friends. I don't think any of my exes would consider me a friend. So, yeah, I just want to hear more about that. What do you guys do together? What's the day-to-day with a friendship like that?
He lives in New York right now, but whenever he comes to town, we always hang out. And we always, I'll always see a group of friends that I made through him who are really great.
Aww.
And they're really sweet people. And I think we always should have been friends, and I think that's why it works.
That's a very astute observation. Yeah. That's great, though. Do you feel ever... I guess there's no bad blood, then, between you two, in a way. Or if there is, it's we value this friendship more than that. So.
I mean, it's like you left orange peels in the shower. That's gross blood. It's not like...
Oh, yeah. That's someone you don't want to date. That's someone you want to be
exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my God. In one example, you have,
yes,
painted an entire portrait for everyone.
That is a very good friend that I do not want to date again.
That's so funny.
And it's... I see the women he's dating now, and sometimes I just want to be like, can I help you?
Yeah,
can I tell him to do something?
Yeah, if you ever need me to help, intervene to tell him to clean up, I'll do it.
Yeah, I will. I have.
In college, I became friends with, there were a group of 5 of us, and they were all men, and they're still some of my closest friends, and I love them dearly. But yeah, I feel like I'm the person that sees all of the orange peels, and whenever they're dating someone, I'm always just whoa, I'm so happy that, you know, someone is dating them, but also wow, I know what you're putting up with. Yeah. You must be a very special girl. You're awesome. Damn. I'm consistently surprised when someone decides to hang out with them on more than a platonic level. I'm just whoa. But that's great. Any friendship that seems... Because the more that I talk to people, there's a lot of work and intention that goes into friendship. And just the act of deciding to be friends after a breakup, I think is really unique, Hana. So I don't know if that was a conscious decision, but I don't know.
I think it was kind of just we took a couple, we took some time to not talk, and then we just started talking again.
Yeah.
We just started usually complaining about people in comedy because we're healthy.
Yes.
But that's how it, yeah.
So many bonds form in such a way.
Yeah.
So you do stand-up. You are a stand-up comedian. Is it okay if I say that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Totally.
Guys, she's a stand-up comedian. Follow her on Twitter, Instagram. Go to all her shows. But so being in like that type of like group and industry, do you often like make friends with people you're doing shows with, or is it, you know, kind of surface levelly, like, hello, we both did this show, nice to meet you, like a little of both?
Definitely a little both. I'm also kind of a comedy recluse in a lot of ways. Like a lot of comics, you know, they're out there every night. They're at all the mics. They're at all the shows.
Yeah.
And I try. But hey, it's weird.
You're doing great, you know? Trying is all that matters. 50% do not try. Guaranteed.
I definitely have some really close friends I made that way. And I also have some friends. You also have that thing where people just go up to you and they recognize you and they say your name. And I've got like purple and blue hair, so they recognize me. And hi, you person that kind of looks like a face that I know.
Right. Like, hello, have we passed each other on Twitter in the night? Like,
yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happens a lot at mics. And I just... it's awesome and terrifying.
Why do you think it's terrifying? What do you think it like?
I'm always afraid I'm going to be found out. Like they're going to know that I'm faking and that I don't actually remember them.
News here, Hana's faking. No, you heard it here first. She's faking it. No, that's funny. I ask because I feel like that is also my instinct is like. Gratitude and also just like a little bit of fear, like ha, and I start sweating, and I'm like, why, okay, it's good, Maggie, it's good, right? Don't think it's bad, because then it'll just turn bad. Maybe that's just my anxiety talking. Probably. That's the other thing that I feel like. I have great friends. I'm always open to making new friends, but I feel like the one thing that gets in the way is either like my like anxiety about, you know, just talking to new people hence also why I did this podcast, because I was like, like get people here, talk to people about friendship because it's important. And yeah, you know.
Smart.
Yeah. Thanks, Hana. But yeah, I also just think it's a thing that's like under talked about. That's like a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
In a way.
Definitely.
Which is weird.
I've been going on a lot of like lifestyle websites to try to write parody stuff. And
yeah.
And there's so much writing about romantic relationships.
Right.
So much. And so much writing about family. And no one really talks about friendships.
Yeah. It's weird to me. And I don't know if this podcast will ever find anything of useful, but like, I'd like to ask, because I feel like, we are taught how to operate in a romantic relationship. Like, for the most part, we know what's good and what's bad. And like, you know, for the most part, we find templates that's like, okay, like this is what I should look for.
Right. And then we ignore the templates and...
Exactly. We ignore all the red flags, and then we go to therapy, and then for a year we work on what are red flags. Ding, ding, ding.
But yeah, we don't even know what the red friendship flags are.
Yes. Only speaking from my own experience, I did not even, like, the concept of choosing a friend was so foreign to me. I just thought friends were like, oh, like whoever, you know, like you get along with, whoever is around, whoever you laugh with. And then, slowly realizing like that's totally unhealthy. Like you don't actually know things about them, or you just let red flags just whiz you by. It's like, oh, wait a minute. should have known a year ago that was a bad investment in time on my part. But yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I feel like every guest that I have on, they, a lot of them talk about how they're, have made awful friend choices just because they have no, there's no book, there's no lifestyle website telling you, top things to look for when looking for, a new friend.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. And now everyone has babies. Is it too late to look for friends?
I think it's too late, Hana. They all have babies. Their friends are their babies now.
Yeah.
There are no left.
Yeah, they don't get to talk to grown-ups anymore unless they're talking about babies and baby products.
Right, which is, fun. It's fun. I did hang out with a new friend recently who had a baby. Not a new baby, so she's been a mom for, I think it's a year and a half now.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that was very fun. Because I think just on a human level, we connected.
Hell
and
yeah.
The baby was there, but we were hanging out, kid was tagging along. But to speak about what we were talking about, I was very nervous. I was also Maggie, you went to therapy, you don't have to be best friends with her right away. Dip your toes in, see if it's fun, look for red flags. Which, I don't know if you want to talk a couple red flags that my therapist told me about with friends, if they talk about themselves a lot, which feels like a no-brainer, but it's a thing that I ignore all the time.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm oh, you're confident in yourself. That's really cool. I'll just spin it into a positive. So yeah, a small thing. If they talk about other people too much, which again is a given.
Oh, wait, what's the right balance of...
Right, and that's the other thing that I have no idea. These are just nebulous things that she suggested, and it's oh, okay. Now I just feel like it's harder because I have to pay more attention to people and things. But
is it people who talk about their exes too much, ex-friends? Is that what?
Maybe. I think she was saying that coming from an egotistical place can mean that they talk about themselves or other people a lot, either because they're comparing themselves or they're covering up for their own insecurities by talking about the negatives of other people. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But literally, I wrote that down because I was say that again because I have zero reference for her, the things you're breaking down for me. But yeah, those are again, no one's ever taught me that before. And I also, my therapist was saying that she seems to have to work on this a lot with people because, we have, Tommy and Chucky to look up to, and that's it. Yeah. It's they seem to be good friends. I guess that's what I'm basing all of my friendships off of, those two babies.
Yep.
Oh, boy. But so being a 30-something, making new friends, have you had any successes, with new friendships or, taking a risk on someone and having it work out?
I think so.
Yeah?
It's so far, everyone I've met at one of my new jobs seems super nice.
Good.
And, would love to, be closer friends with most of those people.
Good.
I co-hosted a show with some people who were super cool the last year. Met a couple of really awesome women who write for the Hard Times, and now they write for stuff that pays them.
Oh my God, they made it! Yeah, they did it! Okay.
It's the Hard Times does pay technically.
Caveat, so they don't sue Hana.
But yeah, and so that's And some of them are in LA that when we hang sometimes and write together and stuff.
I don't, do you think you reached out like first to like instigate a friendship, or do you think they did? Like, where did you see it forming into like, you know, like, oh, these people could maybe be my friends?
I guess for the hard times thing, it started because we started complaining about people there in the group.
Hey, yeah.
I'll preface this, it's 200 dudes and about 9 women.
Wow, I think we got to the bottom of
Yeah. So yeah, we had to
you gotta come together to
at that point
deal with that.
It's kind of like those high school friendships you were talking about. Like at a certain point you just have to be friends.
Yes, at a certain point there is no longer a choice. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. But these people are genuinely awesome.
That's great. That's like the best case scenario. Because also it's not like you guys kind of like had to band together. It's because you came together because you have like common like interest and perspective and like tolerance level of bullshit, probably. I'm assuming. So those are a lot of like qualities that brought you guys together, not just desperation. Although probably a factor. Which some great friendships start out of desperation.
Yeah, probably most of them.
Yeah. Some pretty shitty ones, too. But not to keep talking about my therapist, but there's a great phrase that she said one time that pierced my soul. And she was like friend starvation, which is like when you were like starved for friendship, like you'll, again, just like ignore red flags left and right because who cares?
Yeah.
It's a friend, you know? Oh boy. Our psyches are just tiny little presents that unpacking is so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Hana, right before we started the podcast, you told me just this fascinating tidbit, and I promised I'd bring it up because it's so tell me about this trip that you're going on with strangers who may or may not become your friends.
It was an idea that our merch manager at one of the new places I'm working at threw out, that I guess he lived in Thailand for a couple years and professionally fought in Thailand, which is crazy.
What?
And we've been like friends chatting, but he doesn't live in LA. And a bunch of us were saying, yeah, let's go. And I have no idea if we're actually going to go. But I kind of really want to. I kind of actually really want to go.
I really want you to go.
If I'm the only one there, that's fine.
That's, like, so fascinating to me. So how much hesitation do you have with, like, going to another country with someone you've technically never met, but you're in a similar circle? You're in a Slack group together.
I mean, hopefully we'll have met by then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I hope. And I kind of always wanted to go, and I kind of think maybe one of the best ways to make a new friend is to just be in a completely new environment.
Yeah.
And a completely different place than you're used to. Because then it's kind of like, have you ever done like a comedy festival?
No, but I
very similar to Thailand.
You to see where you're going. Very similar to. Oh, great. Well, then great. Can't wait to not go to either of those places. No, I can't.
That's...
But you're in like a different location.
You're in a completely different location with people that you kind of know, but you don't really like, you're not super close to. And whether or not you stay super close after it, you have this like really intense bond with these people because it's basically summer camp.
I was just about it's summer. Yes, summer camp. Have you done a lot of traveling previously, or is this like one of,
Only with my family. I've always been a freelancer, so I've never been able to afford. But
that's real. That's the dinger. Yeah,
yeah.
I traveled one time on my own. It was after college, after I worked like a full-time job over a summer, and I basically spent all that money going to Ireland. But yeah, of traveling is strange because, yeah, you do go to this remote place and you make these intense bonds with people that you'll probably, like, not see again, maybe forever, if that. Like, I have some friends, I'm using air quotes, because Han and I off the air just said, like, how often people say the word, oh, I have a friend.
Yeah.
And it's like, friend is that the most accurate word to call them? But, like, the guy I stayed with in Ireland, like, he was amazing, and he took us to, like, his, like, favorite place, like, on the peninsula, and we just had all these wonderful experiences together that, like, I'll probably never see him again, but I guess for, like, that week, yeah, like, he was my friend. I don't know. Was he my friend, Hana?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, thanks. Well, that's great. I do hope you go.
I do too. I really want to go.
I do hope you go. And if you do go, come back on the show, hang out again. And we'll talk about the word friend. We'll come up with some new words. And then we'll also talk about the trip and see what friendship was like on that trip.
I love that.
I would love to do that. So open invitation, but only if you go. Only if you go, Hana. And that was a red flag. Okay. So the first half we talked about friendships, and this is the part where we get to fight to the bitter end about who picked the better friend couple. We never ever fight on this podcast about anything. I always say that we do, and we don't. I also always say it's called my top 8, but we have never, and I say I don't think we ever will get through everyone's top 8 friends. Mostly because I don't think we should actually rank friends. Even though that is the...
Alex, you've been demoted to 5.
Yeah. Bye, Alex. Take that. And it's personal. It's not even by accident. So, yes, let's introduce the friend couples that we have chosen. We're going to talk about them, and then you guys on Twitter are going to vote who you guys think make the better friend couple. So, Hana, if you'd like to go first, we can discuss your pick.
I picked Finn and Jake from Adventure Time.
Oh, woohoo!
And it's really awesome when you don't think about the fact that Jake is a 28-year-old dog and Finn is like 12.
Right.
But
Yes.
But they seem to be on the same maturity level, so it totally works.
It totally works. Jake will... Yes, they are on the same emotional level, if not...
Like my relationship with the guy in the orange peels. He was 10 years older, but like...
But it's...
Orange peels. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Yeah, they are great friends. They support each other very well in their adventure antics.
They do, and... when one of them is kind of caught up in something that isn't necessarily healthy or great, they kind of check each other while still supporting each other, which is pretty great.
Yeah, it's really funny because, like, I love doing this segment about, like, you know, examples of friendships that we have in the world. Just because, again, I don't think we talk about it very often, but it's great to have kids shows with good examples of what a friendship looks like.
Yeah.
And I think Finn and Jake, and they're fun. Like, you want to hang out with them, you know? And I also think, like, BMO is much quieter than those two. She's, like, kind of in her own little world, but they, at least I think, like, love her regardless and, like, you know, view her as, like, part of the crew.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if she is a Game Boy and, like, is a robot and, like, you know, pees in toilets. That's a great pick.
I love how genuine and great the show is about friendship, and how at the same time the show is like, just leave your kids.
Yeah, yes. It teaches both of those lessons. Yeah, Adventure Time, it spoke to me, especially, like, like, when I was in college. That's when I, really got, like, into Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I like that relationship. And it does remind me of, like, you know, kind of the banter that I, like, have with, like, my guy friends. And, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Familiar. It's warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now that I pumped up your pick, my pick, we talked about this a little bit. I picked it and then immediately was like, is there some problems in this relationship? So my pick was Samantha and Ellie.
I think Ellie or Nellie. I'm going to look this up.
You know what? I think it's Nellie. I keep wanting to say Ellie, but I do think it's Nellie. Let's call her Nellie. Let's just call her Nellie.
All right, let's call her Nellie.
If it's wrong, you know, send me 500 tweets about it. And mostly be men. So
Yes, please.
yes, please.
Watch it be mostly men who never grew up with these dolls.
Right, to tell me the name of who she is. And most likely they'll be the same men who were commenting on your status and they just flip-flopped over. But, okay, so they are friends. Samantha is pretty privileged. She's, like, kind of, you know...
Oh, yeah. She had a car.
She had a car! And, like, fancy dresses. To be honest, I never really liked Samantha's books. But... it was like a very close female friendship, which I had a very still have a very close female friendship with my neighbor. She's like my best friend. So that's what I think I was trying to get out of it when I was reading it. I was like, oh, like they have a friendship just like me and Molly. But did they though? Did they, Hana? Did they have a good friendship?
I don't know. I remember, like, it's interesting because Nellie was brought in to teach kids about how kids used to have to work in factories.
Right.
But,
so Nellie used to work in a factory, yes.
And then, does she work for Samantha now?
That's the question. I remember Samantha, like, keeping her in, like, a separate room. I don't know if she, like, stayed there for a while.
Yeah, I think she hid her in her room or something because she was in, like, a nasty group home situation.
Right. Which, you know, part of me is, like, I think, especially when I was younger, reading that, I was like, that was the right thing to do. Like, she took in her friend. Like, that's adorable. But now as an adult, I'm like... that was an adult writing that. I was like, wouldn't it be this wonderful fantasy if this rich girl was just so, like, pure of heart that she, you know, deemed to allow this, like, worker in her house and, like, force her to be her friend. So understandably, there's a lot of economic, like, hierarchy that they didn't really get into in the books for... very obvious reasons, but I don't know, Hana. I don't know if that like diminishes their friendship. And like, was Samantha kind of just using her to be a charity case?
I don't know. It seemed like in the book they genuinely got along. They genuinely cared for each other, but also Samantha doesn't know a lot of shit.
Yeah. She doesn't know a lot, anything. Yes. Yeah. I feel like if we saw them today, Nellie would have a lot of things to say to Samantha. Just like, like, listen, man, I know where you were coming from, but here's some shit that I need to tell you. I feel very strongly that that's, if they met up today, they would have some problems. So, Twitter's gonna vote on this. I can kind of foresee where this is going about who's the better friend group. But hey, maybe we're wrong. Maybe
there's something we don't remember.
I think.
Wait, did Samantha something happen where she saved Nellie from something bad?
It does sound, Samantha, they definitely painted Samantha as a hero for sure.
Yeah.
The authors of those books.
Yes.
Definitely were like.
Rich girl saves the day.
Rich girl saves the day. With her kindness. Which, sure. Okay. Yeah. Man, I knew there was a reason those were not my favorite books. I don't know if you can relate, but I remember like reading Samantha's books and then reading Addie's books and be like, what are we doing? Just being like, so you want me to care about Samantha's tea party when Addie is literally like fighting for her family's like survival?
Yeah.
Like her brother is in the fields eating worms. And like, I remember reading that as a child and being like, like the world is cruel. Like we did terrible things to each other. And then like reading about like, oh, kids fun adventure writing for like a newspaper for the first time. I was like, oh my God. Yep. Whoa. American Girl, I got some things to ask you. Anywho, this was thank you so much for joining me, Hana. This was such a delight. I know this question is age as old as time, but I'm a big fan of yours. Where can people come find you to keep up with what you're doing?
Oh, thanks. It's at Hana Michels on everything, which is spelled HanaMichels. I know my parents, I didn't have any control. But yeah, that's on pretty much everything.
Are you sure? No, that was on purpose.
I could have changed it when I was 18. I messed up.
Did you ever think about it?
Just to be Googleable, yeah.
Oh, I like that your name's Hana.
I like it too.
I like it a lot.
But a lot of people think that I picked it just to sound different instead of like, no, my given name wasn't Hannah. Like, it's different.
Yeah, they must not know you if they think that. Because you don't strike me as a person that just like chooses things to like stand out about yourself.
Oh, I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wasn't going to say, but implied. Well, fantastic. We'll have you linked on everything, but also I just wanted to thank you. Like I said, you seem to just be like so open and like always yourself, which like I really appreciate. And you know,
me too.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, I think you're great. So thanks for coming to hang out with me.
You too.
All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to My Top 8. I'm your host, Maggie May Fish. If you like what you heard and you want to help me bring you more, head over to patreon.com/Maggie May Fish, where you can support the show. And check out patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can support my wonderful friends who help make this show possible. Find me on Twitter at Maggie May Fish, and let me know your thoughts on friendship. Until next time, goodbye, friends.